All right, all right. So welcome everybody to the Team Double E podcast, and that's me, Double E, Ed English. So one of my old nicknames. So I got I got sick of calling my group "Hey you guys," so I call them Team Double E now. But I got today with me. I got Jeff Morrell, and he's from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Beautiful Colorado.
Beautiful place to be.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And he's going to tell us a little bit about his story and why he moved to EXP. So, welcome, Jeff.
Thank you. I appreciate having me on. Definitely.
Yep.
I like that boat behind you there.
That is the Sunset Seeker,
There you
and
go.
that's my new boat. And my wife and I are going on something called America's Great Loop, and it's May of 2024. We are taking that puppy around a 6,000-mile journey.
Oh my goodness!
Around the East Coast, and it goes up the river, up the canal system, and down the river system, and around Florida, and back to the Chesapeake Bay where we start. So
wow, that's awesome. Good for you. Very
Yep.
cool. Well, yeah, no, thanks for having me on. My story. So I'm from Indiana originally, born and raised.
Right.
If we go back to there, I'll tell you this part. My senior year in college, I went to Butler University. So my senior year in college, there was a film crew that came to town. I was doing TV news back in Indianapolis, working at the CBS station, and film crew comes in, and they're getting ready to film this Indiana basketball movie.
Yep.
Gene Hackman, Dennis Hopper, Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
And
Yep.
so anyway, I'd loved movies ever since I was, I can go back to 4 and 5 years old, and always loved the movies. Well, anyway, they come in and like, hey, we're going to have lots of crowd scenes. We're going to need help. Anybody wants to work on it? Here's the number. Give us a call. You're hired. I had a pretty loose year my senior year, so I ended up working on that movie, and great experience, a lot of fun. They actually, there was one scene they put me in. I don't know. You got to, if you pause it just right, you'll see me there. But anyway, so ended up doing that, and it was funny because at the end of the year, I figured I'm going to go on working in the TV news journalism in that industry. But a buddy of mine, we decided, let's go to California. Like, what if, and the assistant director on Hoosiers, when he left, we got done filming right before Christmas. And we had 3 or 4 more months to go. Graduated in May, 5 months later. And but when he left, he said, "Hey, if you guys ever come to California, let me know. I'll put you to work." And it kind of went in one ear and out the other because this is 1986. There's Indiana from California. There's no internet. There's no cell phones. Like that was another planet from Indiana.
Yeah,
nobody does that. Well, me and this guy, we decided, you know what? Let's go out there and try it because I don't know. I learned a long time ago. I mean, I'd rather live with memories than regrets, And I'm like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll have some good experiences. I can always fall back on my degree, TV news, but I'll never know if I don't try it. And so I've never been afraid to try stuff. So me and him, we pack up and we head to California after we graduate, drove across country. And, one of the things that happened within 6 months, I was an assistant director out there in the film business. And making about $1,000 a day. And I remember it was one of those things, my dad, you're doing what? You're moving where? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what are you, an idiot? Like, what? You got this degree, you just went to college, you got what are you doing? Some of my high school friends definitely just in the box, and I've always been out of the box. And so, I'm like, it just put a fire into me. Like, I'm gonna do this, And what do I have to lose? So I go out there, got in that business, did that for about 9-10 years. Met my wife, had a great run, worked on a lot of big things, a lot of fun. Met my wife at a church I started going to. We got married and actually went full time in the ministry, in ministry, which I love doing. I love working with people. The church we were a part of, just a non-denominational Christian church. It was growing like crazy. They needed help. So ended up going from $1,000 a day to about $2,000 a month in that business. In the ministry, which wasn't about the money, but I loved it. So got 2 daughters. They were 4 and 1 when we decided it was just time to make a move. We had no family out there and a lot of friends and stuff, but I just, I think from day one of being out there, not being from there, I'm not down in California. I just didn't want to raise a family there. And so we decided we're going to make a move. It's going to be Colorado, where my wife's family was from, or back to Indiana. we'd come to visit here, fell in love with it. And so it was really a pretty easy decision. We moved to Colorado Springs. My wife's family, her dad and his family were in Monument, which is about 20 minutes north of us. So moved back here. Had no idea what I was going to do when I got here, but my father-in-law is a real estate developer. And he and I were out walking one day, just talking. We'd been here a few weeks, just kind of decompressing from the move and stuff. It was December 1999. And he was like, hey, I don't know what you're thinking about doing, but, this cell phone I got strapped to my hip. I'd love to give it to you. And I want to travel more. And he's a great photographer. He loves doing photography. And he's like, I'll put you on a salary, teach you what I do. You can think about it, whatever, pray about it. I'm like, okay, sure. And so we talked about it. My wife and I said, yeah, let's do it. So I started working with him, and that got my feet wet as far as real estate,
Right.
Worked with him on a couple of big neighborhoods, big projects here. 9/11 hit, and his projects just came to a screeching halt. Like everything just froze for about 6 months. And he never said anything, but I'm like, the only reason he's keeping me on right now is because I'm his son-in-law. And I hated that feeling, And so I went and got my real estate license in January 2002. Started working in residential real estate. So it's been good. My first, I got plugged into a really good coaching program. Was part of that program for about 9 years. I think it's important, you become who you hang around. And I want to be around the biggest and best agents I could be a part of. And so I joined that program and put 14 grand on a credit card. Didn't tell my wife for 6 months. She's going to absolutely kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm like, but I knew it would work. I'm seeing what it's doing with these guys. I got to know these guys. I was at a conference, and so I ended up being a part of that for nine years. And honestly, my first year, I ended up with about 32 deals my first year.
That's
did about
awesome.
50 my second year, did 72 my third, by myself, no assistant. And it was ugly. It was like more than I could handle. My wife got her license. She was already helping me a ton. She went and got licensed then in 2005, and we ended up joining Keller Williams and built a team over there. For 5 years, we had the #1 Keller Williams team in Colorado Springs with the production we were doing. And it was really all part of that coaching program. I was just plugged into that system. And I really thought I would be there, for a long time. I was there for 5 years, but I left there in 2010. I just got tired of paying all the fees. I wasn't, no issues with Keller Williams, great company. I just was not using any of their tools, websites, systems, nothing. I had all my own stuff in place through that coaching program I was part of. And so I'm like, 21,000 a year, with all the stuff we were doing, I'm like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so ended up leaving there, going back to an independent company, which was basically $50 a month, $300 transaction fee. Now you get what you pay for, but I didn't need all the stuff. I had all my stuff going. And, it worked. I thought I'd ride out my career there. 4.5 years ago, a buddy of mine, Sean Sturrock, reached out to me out of Dallas, Texas, and asked me to take a look at EXP, which I told him, I'll look. I think it's good to look. If somebody called me today, Ed, to look at something, I go look at it, because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
I've always been open-minded to look at things. And so, I told him, I said, I'll look at it, but there's no way I'm moving. Been there, done that, the big companies. No, I know there's no way it can, be better than what I got right now. I'm basically at 100% company. And I looked at EXP, and a week later we made a move, which I never thought I would do. It just made too much sense to me, and without question, been here 4.5 years now, the absolute best business decision I've ever made in my life. No question about it. It's been great to be here. So,
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I was going to ask you why EXP. Now I know.
A lot of different reasons, I think. Just, every time I'm not one of those agents that, in 20 years of doing it, I think I've moved 4 times. I'm not one of those agents that just hop around. The grass is always greener. The only time I've ever moved, it's made more financial sense for me. It was a better move for myself and for my team and for my family. And so every time I've moved, that's been the reason. I started out at an independent brokerage here in town. I was on a 70-30 split with no cap. Now, I didn't know any better. I didn't interview anywhere. The guy that owned the company, friend of mine, we're still friends to this day. I just went to work with him. I didn't go anywhere. But then my third year, 70-30 split with no cap, when you've done 72 deals, I'm like, I'm adding all this up, my taxes that year. I'm like, holy cow. I gave my brokerage $100,000, and I was never there at that point. I was working from home, and whatever. I was in that coaching program. That was where I got all my support and stuff. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So, I had done a deal with a big Keller Williams agent, Stacy Kibler, here in town, great agent. And, called up Stacy. She asked me if I'd ever looked at Keller Williams. Like, no, I'm good. I'm loyal. I'm not going anywhere. Did my taxes that year. Like, holy cow, called
Yeah.
up Stacy,
That's an eye
So,
opener.
so how's that Keller Williams thing work? She said, well, it's 21,000 a year. I'm like, I'm in. Like, that's 80,000 more in my pocket. Like, holy cow. Now that was a hard talk to have because I'm loyal. A lot of people watching this. Here's what I would tell you. They've been at their company for a long time. They're loyal. They like where they're at. They like the people they work with. I get it. The hardest talk I had was with my broker, just telling him like I need to make a move. Now he was great about it. I've never burned a bridge. He was like, look, because if they're really behind you, here was this thing. He's like, you got to do what's right for you and your family. I totally get it. The door's always open if you want to come back. You've been awesome. Thanks for everything. You're going to do great no matter where you go. And that's how I left it, And so again, whenever I've moved, that's been the reason. It's just, it made more financial sense for me, for my future, for my family. That's what it was when I moved to EXP. I never thought I'd come over here from a 100% company that didn't make any sense, unless you've seen this model. And most agents that are saying no to it or whatever, they just haven't seen it, or they haven't had it personalized for them. They haven't really dug in and run their numbers with this model to see what it would look like. When you really do that, it's like, wait a minute, like, okay, I'm going to make more money over here. No matter well, I'm an independent broker. I make 100%. You'll make over 100% over here. Well, that's impossible. No, you need to look at the model.
Well, you make over 100% now, right? I mean,
well over 100%. I've been 200 and 300 more over ever since I've been here.
Right.
And I never thought that existed.
So, but you're an icon agent, right? What does that mean to you to get the icon award at EXP?
It's huge. Okay. So for agents that, when you cap over here, you cap and do an additional 20 deals. Typically that's how it works. You are now an icon agent at EXP, and EXP rewards you. Yeah, you get a nice looking, trophy to put up here on the bookcase. Okay, that's great. Every company does stuff like that. We get that too. But my entire cap that I gave to EXP, I get it all back in stock,
which is $16,000.
$16,000 worth of NASDAQ traded EXP stock. And that's huge. When I saw that, for me, it was the thing that was really the biggest thing at first for me in making the move. I'm like, wait a minute, because there's other stock bonuses. If I get that plus those other bonuses, I'm over 100%. They're paying me to be here now. And it's been that way every year I've been here. Right. So, and let me say this, I would much rather get that 16,000 back in stock than just a check for 16,000. Because that's 16,000 in stock. The 16,000 we got back our first year, that stock is worth tens of thousands today. Maybe even upwards of 100,000. I haven't looked lately, but it's way up there,
right,
because of the way the stock has grown over here. So yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's just that right there. I'm like, I'd never seen that before. The group that I'm a part of, Freedom Team, we had over 100 agents go over $1 million in stock bonuses last year when our company hit that stock split, the 2-to-1 stock split we had. Yeah. We had over 100 agents in our group go over $1 million in stock, became millionaires just from doing what they've been doing their entire careers, running the real estate business.
Right.
No recruiting. No, I'm not talking about recruiting, just from doing their real estate. Again, it's like, how does that even exist outside of this company? I've never seen it before. It's just to this degree, Yes, I could go buy stock. I was showing somebody the other day. Couple things I'll tell you. There was a Remax agent I showed this to. It's been 6 months ago. And I remember she sat there. She's like, well, what if the stock goes to $1? I said, well, then I guess I'm a Remax agent. She's like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, how much are they giving you? It's like, whatever. Yeah. She's like, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. It's a nice bonus to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Bonuses we're getting, right? So there's that piece. But then, oh gosh, there's another. I lost my train of thought. There was something I was going to say. Go ahead and ask me a question. I'll think about it.
Well, we were talking about the stock and the Icon Award, because you can also, I'm sure you pledge whatever you allow, 5% of your commission check to buy EXPI stock, because they give it to us at a 10% discount.
Yeah.
So that's how you become a millionaire too. And totally. That's like building your own 401k in real estate, and that's unheard of.
Yeah, It's never existed before.
Because there's no exit strategy in real estate.
There
Never
isn't.
was.
I know something I was going to say because again, I met with an agent here. That's probably been 2 weeks ago now, but they said, well, I could buy my own stock wherever I go.
Sure.
And I'm like, yeah, you could, but okay. How long you been? You're at Coldwell Banker. How long you been there? I've been there 12 years. How much Coldwell Banker stock do you have? Zero. Because they're not buying stock. Yes, you could, but you don't. You won't. Whatever. Over here, it's
Right.
almost like I'm doing it without even thinking about it. I'm getting these bonuses
right.
anyway. I've got mine set up.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done it with every single closing in the 4 years we've been here. We've bought stock with every closing, and it's just set up automatically. I don't even think about it.
Right. Now you have an exit strategy.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that. My story. I talked to you before.
Sure.
29 and a half years at the same brokerage, no stock. Now I have, at least some coming in. But if I had that for 30 years, holy crap!
My goodness.
You can retire.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. It's done for you because you just click the button that says, yes, go ahead, take 5% of my check and buy EXPI stock, because there's no 6% fee, there's no franchise fee, no royalty fee, whatever you want to call it. And when you go to 100%, there's no 6% fee.
Yeah.
After you
let me say this. Like, I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket. I mean,
no.
it's again, it's stock. It could do anything. It's all over the place. It's down right now. All the stocks are down right now. Across the board, stocks are down. Whatever. But that's when you buy. Like, the lower the better. I think over time, what's going to happen? I think it's going to, it's going to be doing this as it's doing this over time. Here's what will happen. And so I'm not counting on that 100%. But again, it's another stream of income. It is there if I needed it. We've got a lady in our group. She, last year, I mean, she cashed out a bunch of stock, paid off 2 of their rental properties, just paid them off. So now she's getting rent, but now it's 100% cash flow coming in. She did that. A buddy of mine, Aaron Ken, down in Texas, he was one of the first people I showed EXP to. A year ago, his stock hit 1.2 million. He cashed out 1,000 shares, paid off his house, paid off his cars, completely debt free. He called me that day, and I mean, literally was like emotional on the phone. I thought something was wrong. Like, we become great friends over the years. I'm thinking something happened to the kids or something. Like, everything okay? He's like, look, 18 years of being in the business, the last 2.5 years here has completely changed our lives. Thank you for calling me and talking to me about EXP.
Yeah.
And that gets me out of bed in the morning to call as many agents as I possibly can, because I know what this can do for them. They will make more money over here and have more options down the road that they just don't have right now.
Right. And speaking of that, so I'm in, I told you I have Team Double E. I call it Team Double E. You call yours the Freedom Team.
Freedom Team.
Because I got sick of saying, "Hey, you guys," so I say, because now I'm up to 29 agents, which, nice. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at, but you have over 80?
I've got Freedom Team as a whole, which is, there's like 5 of us that co-founded the Freedom Team. So Freedom Team totals about 3,000. All 47 states, multiple countries. I've got about 240 myself that are in
I didn't know that.
10 states and 4 countries outside of the U.S. Right now, I've got agents in India, Canada, Mexico, and Brazil. And so what does that mean? Well, I get an override every time any of those agents have a closing. And there's a peace of mind about that. There really is. I mean, when whether I have any closings or not, there's all this concern right now, and I get it. The economy and the housing market and what's going to happen. Is this going to last for 3 months, 6 months, 3 years? We don't know. It's out of our control. But I do know, with a couple hundred agents in my group, there will be closings next month. There might be less closings than 3 months ago, but there will be closings, and I will get paid regardless, and that money will typically be enough to cover more than enough to cover my bills. So you just sleep a little better at night, knowing that's there.
The international expansion of EXP is phenomenal in my mind, because when I joined 3 years ago, well, you joined 4 years ago, you said, right? So we had Canada. That was it. And not even all of Canada, just part of Canada. Now we have 22 countries. And the picture that I put up on my promo for you is Dubai.
Dubai, yeah.
Dubai's coming next.
I was there. I was there a few years ago, and just on vacation. Me and a buddy of mine, we went over there, and he went. We had a great time. But I put a post yesterday because they just announced here recently that Dubai. We're probably a couple weeks away from opening up Dubai the way it sounds. I mean, give or take, whatever. We don't have an exact date, but it's coming very quickly. And here's my thing: is there a recession right now in Dubai? No. There's not. I mean, the economy worldwide is going through some flux and things and all kinds of stuff. But all I know is I can reach out to agents on LinkedIn and I can connect with agents over there. And when we open up over there, I could reach out to those agents I've connected with and just said, hey, we just opened our company, eXp Realty, fastest growing brokerage in real estate history. We are now open in Dubai. We're looking for some good agents to help us spread the word. Would you be open to watching a 20-minute video? Who would say no to that?
Exactly.
I will get agents in Dubai who look at that. And if they decide to join eXp and they do it through me, I will now get paid every time they have a closing. And then who do they show it to? And who do they show it to? You can recession-proof your business with this model. That's what we've done with Brazil, with India. There's over 1 million agents in India. I've got like 5 or 6 right now that have joined me. What will that look like 3 years from now, 5 years from now? I don't know. It might still be 6. It might be 600. I don't know.
Right.
But we're growing. We're growing around the world, and all of our economies are different. All of our markets are different. All of our businesses are different. But you can start overriding and getting paid almost like you're a broker. You can build an international brokerage here. And I say that in quotes, brokerage, because I'm not liable for those people. I'm not, if one of them messes up and there's a complaint or they get sued or whatever, I won't even know about it. Chances are that goes up to eXp, the broker. I'm not the broker.
Right.
I don't have to train them. I don't have to feed them leads. I don't have to do all the things that a typical broker does. Now, we do a whole bunch with Freedom Team to help our agents get up and run and do all kinds of stuff. We do 18 masterminds a month on top of what eXp offers. We're doing all kinds of things. But again, it's like I'm not liable for them. I'm not responsible for them. How much would it cost me to have a brick and mortar brokerage with, the 240 agents I got? I mean, thousands of dollars a month. How much does it cost me to have that here? $85 a month. And I'm not liable for it. When I left Keller Williams, I had probably half a dozen agents in town because everybody knew who I was back then. I mean, I was top 20 in town out of 4,000 agents. We had a really big thing going, and I'm grateful for all that. I've pulled back intentionally. I just don't need all that. I don't want all that. I don't need the recognition. I couldn't care less. All life, that's what I want. Right. And so anyway, I probably had half a dozen agents reach out to me when I left Keller Williams. Hey, we hear you're leaving. Start your own brokerage. Start your own brokerage. I'll come with you. I'm like, heck no. I never wanted that. I never wanted that liability.
Right.
I never wanted the headaches that come along with that. There's nothing wrong with that for those that want to do it, but there's a lot of liability there. There's a lot of overhead with that. I would not want to be an independent broker right now with that brick and mortar overhead with what we're seeing. I mean,
huge overhead, and markets are shifting across the country. I don't know. And like you said, internationally, you can recession proof, but even in the States, our market is shifting a little bit, but we're not seeing a decrease in values at all. And maybe a few less showings, still multiple offers. Like, I don't know about Colorado, but your market's pretty strong too, right? It's
pretty strong. We're seeing, definitely you're competing with less offers for sure. We are seeing price drops here. Now, however, will it go, there's been such a gain in value over the last, 2.5, 3 years that, I don't think we're going to get back to like prices of 2018 or 2019, whatever, but we're seeing some price drops. And I don't know. I saw the other day, average days in the market were up to 20, 25, whatever it is. And, you got agents flipping out. I'm like, just like, calm down. Like when I got in the business 2002, 40, 45 days, that's just what it was. That was normal, like we're nowhere near being normal yet, whatever that is.
I started in the 90s. It was like 90 days, 60 or 90 days. It's like you couldn't even get to a closing. You had 45 to 60 days just to get to a closing, Now it's like things are all digital.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So how has eXp changed your life? Like, what has it done to change your life?
The biggest thing I think, the thing I would say, when we came up with that name here, year and a half ago, we really kind of put that name together, Freedom Team. And we thought long and hard about that. We didn't just pull names out of a hat and let's land on that one. Like we really thought about that. 'Cause I think most agents get into this business because they think they're going to have more freedom, more
Freedom.
flexibility. I can run my schedule. I can run my life. I can work
Yeah.
7 days a week, or I can work 3. I can get more time with my kids. I can vacation whenever I want. I can do all these kind of things. And there's a lot of truth to that. But at the same time, as your business builds, there's less and less of that. You know, you're your own boss, but now you've got 20 bosses because every client you've got, every prospect, like they're running your life, whatever, 7 o'clock on a Thursday night, and they call and, hey, this house just came on the market. Can we see it before it gets dark? It's like, whatever. And you're flying out the door. I mean, there's just different things that go on. It's like so many agents don't have boundaries set up, healthy boundaries at all. And I've been there. I did it. There wasn't anything free about it. And I think that's the thing, EXP, with multiple streams of income coming in from what I was going to be doing anyway, it has given us like freedom, and I think we're able to, I'm able to make more money than I've ever made and being able to pull back on my production at the same time, at least have that option here. And that's the thing. I think right now you talk to most agents, where do you want to be 5 years from now? If they've been in the business a long time, they might be want to working their way out. They're looking to retire out. Now you might ask them a plan for that. Well, they have no plan. It's just work harder than I've ever worked. Maybe buy a couple rental properties and hope it works out. I mean, okay, that's maybe you're rolling the dice there. Maybe you planned ahead. Some did, most didn't.
Right.
Or you'll talk to an agent that's been in the business for a couple, 2, 3, 4 years. Where do you want to be 5 years from now? They want to be making more money. They want to be. So what does that mean? There's really 2 ways to make more money in this business. It's sell higher priced houses or sell more houses.
Sell more houses.
Most people sell more houses. Well, what does that mean? That's more of everything. That's more marketing costs. That's more lock boxes. It's more signs. It's more late nights on the computer. It's more weekends at open houses, that sitting in other people's houses that aren't your houses, when you really would much rather be home with your family. Let's face it,
And it's more stress.
It's more of everything. Absolutely. It's more inspection headaches. It's more of everything.
Right.
That's how we do it typically. Well, here, like I was with an agent. It's been several months ago. He's a big agent here in town. He's young. He's single, 25, 26, doing 30, 40 deals a year. He's a hustler, has the time to do it. Young, single guy, whatever. And I asked him, I said, where do you want to be 5 years from now? He said, I want to be top 10 in town. I want the billboard out on the freeway. I want to be the name and face of real estate in Colorado Springs. I'm like, great, you could do that. Okay. I showed him our model. And then afterwards I said, okay, let me ask you something. I said, first of all, I said, you're single. Do you want to get married? Oh yeah, I'm getting engaged in 3 months. I said, okay. Do you want to have a family? Oh yeah, definitely want to have kids. Okay. Just hear me on this. You want to be doing 100 deals a year, top 10 in town. Everybody knows you. You're going to have to hire at least a couple assistants and probably bring a couple people on and build a small team if you want to stay married. If you want to get any time with your kids. I'm just telling you, like, been there, done that, seen it. It's like, this is what it's going to take. I said, now you could be that guy. I said, I could see you being that guy. You're a hustler. You're a go-getter. You could be that guy, whether you stay where you are right now, whether you go build your own company, whether you come over here, whatever you do, you could be that guy. I showed him the model. I said, look, here's my thing. I'd rather, do a deal every other month, refer all the rest out, but I make more money than you do in 100 deals a year. And I can do that with this model. I want my time back. I want more time with my family. I want more memories to build. I want to travel more. I want to do more things. I want to volunteer more at church. I want to do just more things I want to get involved in, whatever. I don't want it to the end all be all 80, 90 hours a week in my real estate business. That's not why I got into the business.
Right.
And so, and I think that's the thing most people like, and now with this model, now I'm able to do that. The EXP has allowed me to do that, pull back and make more. So now I can do more things that I really got into business thinking I could do that I was never able to do in the traditional real estate business, but I can do it here at EXP.
Awesome. So you got your freedom. You got some freedom, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I believe, in that if the market shifts, which the market's going to shift, okay, as Jay Kinder will tell you, they're raising the rates. There is a recession. Your market's going to shift. Whether it shifts drastically or not, we don't know. Okay. Right. But I would also say that for an agent out there, number one, I believe that an agent needs to be focused on their own personal brand, because that's the most important thing. You're in business by yourself, for yourself. You're in your own business, whether you have a brokerage name above you or not, it doesn't matter. But I would think that you're going to start watching your dollars and cents more carefully if the market doesn't allow you to do, like if you're doing 40 deals and you're down to 30 next year, that's going to have a big impact on your pocketbook. So
huge.
So I think like now is a critical time to be open-minded when somebody like Jeff or myself gives you a call. We're just trying to share some good news with you. And Jeff knows my story because he interviewed me a few weeks ago, and I didn't come here for the stock and the revenue share. I came here because of a fair split and everybody's on the same level playing field.
Yeah.
But my first impression when I saw EXP was, that's BS. There's no way they can do that. There's no way they can make any money. And we know now that that's not the case, because it's just an unbelievable model, and everybody.
Can I add something, Ed, real quick? Because when you mentioned something, I had a lady reach out to me. This has been a couple weeks ago. She called me. She's top 5 in her market. She's been in the business about 26 years at the same company, Remax. We'll say it, for 26 years.
Right.
Never thought she'd leave. She's won every award they got. She's been grandfathered in on everything they got going on. She reached out to me 2-3 weeks ago and said, okay, I've been watching you guys. I see what you're doing. I do need to watch where every penny is going right now. I am concerned about where we're headed and what this is going to look like and how long it's going to last. Do me a favor, put me on your schedule to call about the end of October, because I'm ready to make a move to EXP. I just need to wrap up a couple things. She's been Remax for 26 years.
Well,
I do think that's important right now to at least be open. Again, be open-minded to at least look at it, because you could look at it and say, it's just not for me. Totally good. Thanks for looking. At least you know how it works now. Because there's a lot of misinformation out there. I talk to people all the time that just, well, you guys do this and this and this. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've been here 4 years. I'm just telling you, we don't do that. Like, that's not true.
Right. And the misinformation is going to come from your broker, because
they don't want you to leave.
If your brokers, what do you think they're going to tell you? EXP is great. Hell no, man. They're going to tell you, no way. They're going to tell you what I thought. It's BS. You're never going to.
If I'm looking to buy a Ford truck, I'm not going to go to the Chevy dealer to get information on, should I buy that Ford truck? They're like, heck no, that a piece of junk. Here, let me show you this truck, whatever. Let me show you the Silverado, whatever, they want me to buy that one, of course. And so that's what they go to the source and get the correct information so you can do an honest, true evaluation for yourself. And if you're saying no, at least you know what you're saying no to, and that's fine. If it's not for, I don't know why this isn't for everybody, but if it's not for you, it's not for you, and that's okay. Nobody's here to twist your arm. I've never twisted anybody's arm.
Well,
but you need to at least look.
Timing is everything. Like your agent that has to wrap a few things up. I mean, we all know that. I mean, I had to wrap a few things up too. Once I saw it and understood it, I made my decision right away. I still had a month or so before I could wrap things up. But like now is the time to be aligned with EXP. And you're right, because I believe that EXP is the best opportunity in all of real estate. I've been in real estate 32 years. I have never seen anything like this. And it's not just the money either. This collaboration between agents, like I feel like I know Jeff. We're in a mastermind group together. I never met Jeff. He's in Colorado Springs. Now, I might see him sometime because my daughter does live in Aurora on the other side.
There you go.
So, but
or one of the conferences or something. It's an interesting thing because people feel like, my office, and I got a lot of friendships and all that. I've got more friends right now in real estate than I've had my 20-year career. And it makes no sense because we're a virtual brokerage. But that collaboration that you talked about, I've never seen collaboration like what I see here. Ever in my entire career. People are sharing and giving and helping each other at a level that doesn't exist in this business.
Because
it just doesn't.
Because when you help the other EXP agents grow, you're helping EXP grow and your stock goes up. So we're all financially aligned, whether it be in the same exact line or not. we're all financially aligned because we all are part owners of EXP. And, I call it, I kind of think it's uncanny that we're talking about this because I saw on Facebook today, Carlos German did an event in Texas, and it's called Open Book. They open their playbooks. We open our playbooks for each other. Nobody did that when I was in real estate before. No way. They kept their secrets like this, man. No, you can't. You're not going to learn my marketing. No way. I have the master. I mastered that neighborhood. I'm not going to show you how to do it.
Right.
Now,
well, that's the truth. I mean, when I was at Keller Williams and they always wanted me to train, I trained, I don't know, probably a dozen times. I love doing it. I love sharing, giving things away. But just what you just said, it's true. I'm not going to give away everything because I am training my competition. You can talk culture all you want to. I got to feed my family first and foremost, and then take care of my team, and then provide to these other agents in the office. But whatever, I'm paying $20,000 a year for this coaching that I had for 9 years, and they want me to come here and show us everything you're doing. Not going to happen. You could pay $20,000. Right. Give me my $20,000 back. Like what? I'll share some things, but I'm not going to share it all. Right. There's no way. Now here, I'll share it all. I'll share everything I've got. In fact, these masterminds we're doing, we're talking about everything. Yeah, we're giving away listing presentations. We're giving away everything we got. It's that open playbook because again, the better we all do, the better the company does, the more agents join us, better our stock does. It's a win for everybody.
And that's the kind of agent that comes to EXP though, Jeff, because when you say it's not for everybody, it's not, because if you're not going to be like that,
good point.
Yeah, it's not going to work. But if you are like that, and most of us are, willing to help. So a mistake that I think like an agent, fortunately that agent from Remax had the right outlook, because what agents do is they think, well, my God, I've been at Remax 26 years. So if I leave Remax, nobody's going to know where to find me. And that's not the case. They're not going to you because of Remax. They're going to you because of you, and they're still going to find you. So,
and that's your story, right? You were 29 years, right? At your company before you made the move. Yeah. So,
well, I told you a story. I told you a story because I listed a house with somebody that I went to church with for 20 years, and they said, "Oh, you're not with Century 21 anymore." I'm like, "I was never with Century 21. What are you talking about?" They didn't know where I was.
I had no idea. Yeah.
Right. They called my cell phone. I list their house.
Yeah. The biggest year I ever had was the year after I left Keller Williams, and it just proved to me like they weren't hiring me which I knew that, but they weren't hiring me because I was at Keller Williams. I was at this little no-name independent company here in town, Masters Real Estate Group. It was about 60 of us. They were hiring me and my team because it's me and my team. Right. And that, whatever, we could connect with people. We had a great marketing plan. We showed them all the stuff. We just did more than what most people were doing. So I knew when I got in the door, I'm getting the listing. It had nothing to do with a red business card or a nice KW logo. It just didn't. Right. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that's not the reason why people are hiring you.
Right. Exactly. They're hiring you for you. So thanks for coming on. What you want to add anything at the end here?
The one last thing that I would like to add, 7 years ago, I like to tell this story because, again, one of my big things is life happens. It's going to happen to everybody. 7 years ago, I got diagnosed with prostate cancer. Now, we caught it early, grateful for it, whatever. But I had surgery, in clean bill of health ever since, thank God, grateful for that. But for about 6 months, my wife and I, we had no closings in real estate. We worked together. She's a realtor also. We had no closings on purpose because we could afford not to. We had passive income, residual income coming in from another business, rental property, different things. We did not have to stress financially. Most agents out there that are listening to this, maybe 2 or 3 months, they could go without having a closing, or they're completely out of business, or they're getting another job to help support their real estate, whatever. I mean, here's what happens, right? We had set that up, and I tell people all the time, if you understood the power of that residual income, you'd run through a brick wall to get it. That's a quote by a guy, Art Jonak. And I think most people don't understand it because they've never had it. Insurance agents get it. Build a big enough book of business. You renew your policy every year, and they get paid every year. So that's what they want to do. Build it big enough, and then they can start walking away and travel more and do different things and whatever. Musicians get it. Michael Jackson's kids are worth more than he ever was because every time Thriller plays, they get a check in the mail. and it's playing somewhere right now in the world, and they're going to get paid. That's just how it works. Actors get it, writers get it. They write the book one time, 20 years later, somebody buys a copy, the writer gets paid. Residual income. Most of us don't understand that, because you show up, you get paid. You have a closing, you get paid. On to the next closing. Here, we can get that in multiple ways. You still get paid like you always did, but you can get paid that. So again, I go back 6 years ago, before I was in EXP, 7 years ago, when I had that prostate cancer, we were able to pull back and just focus on what we needed to focus on: my health, my marriage, my family. Let me just heal and recover and get better. We'll get back at it. It's fine, but we can afford to do that. And here's the thing: life happens. It's going to happen to everybody watching this, everybody listening to this, whether it's health, hopefully not, but it will be for some. It might be a car wreck. It might be the water heater goes out. And you got to redo your basement for $4,000 because of water down. I mean, there's just, life happens all the time. When we're done here, Ed, like, just so you know, last night I had a flat tire in the car, and it's time to get new tires. As soon as we're done here, I got to go spend $1,000 and get 4 new tires put on. It is what it is. Life happens, right?
Yep. Well,
most of us aren't ready for it.
Right.
Okay.
And I haven't built up a residual income like you have, but even where I build it up, which is not that big, just by telling a few people, I can take that Sunset Seeker on a 6,000 mile journey and still support Team Double E from the boat on the internet.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean,
exactly. You location freedom.
Yep.
You get that here as well.
It's May of 2024. It's not that far away, man.
Well, and by May of 2024, by May of 2024, Ed, you could easily be at a high 4, if not even 5 figures a month in just passive income here. Very easily. That could happen for you. It really could. You know what I mean? And that's possible here. And so then you really could have just complete freedom with everything. But
and that's what I want to do. But the only way for me to get there is to help enough other agents. And that's what I'm all about. That's what I'm all about. That's the way I've been for all my life.
Yep. Help enough people get what you want, or help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want.
That's right, Zig Ziglar.
There you go.
All right.
That's how we do it, man. So.
Yep, man. All right. We're signing off, and I'll catch you on the flip flop.
There you go.
Peace
Thanks,
out,
Ed.
everybody.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
All right.